Friday. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to today's live. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny, and manifesting the life you desire. I hope this session brings you some peace, clarity, some answers to the questions that you bring today. Please be open and center your energy and be open to the messages that Spirit has for you. Quick reminder of if you would like a free reading or if you're new here, just click the link in the pinned comment. You'll be added to a list, wait for your name to be called, and then post your question. I don't read on yes, no, timelines or general, so please bear that in mind. And also that I am an energy reader. So please provide as much context and detail. It allows me to connect with your energy, anyone in your situation, and provide you a meaningful reading. But I hope you're all doing well. Hey Namira. Hey Tia. Hey Raina. I'm just going to go over and grab the list. And with regards to the list, just keep an eye in the chat. It's regularly updated. And today I'm using the Modern Witch Tarot deck. So first up we have the lovely Country. If you are here, my love, please go ahead and post your question. I'm not sure if Country's here, so there she is. Awesome. So let's start the shuffle. And Country asks, hey, seems like I always attract broken or unhealed partners. This makes me curious. What version of myself do I project to potential partners? Okay. I have some thoughts on this, Country, but I will keep them to myself and see what Spirit has to say. Oh, there we go. So, the question, what version of myself do I project to potential partners? Interesting. The Hanged One. Major Arcana. The Hanged One always talks about what is needed is a shift in perspective, a shift in how we view the situation, rather than, so it's a mindset shift rather than an action or something different that you would need to do sort of externally, practically, if that makes sense. So I think what's the message here from Spirit, I'll pull another card to dig deeper, but I would say there's something about, you know, how you view the situation, as if it's something that's broken or unhealed about you, or that you are want to save people, when actually I feel like there are just a lot of broken and unhealed people in the world. So in that sense, it's not that you're attracting those kinds, it's just that there are a lot of people like that. Yeah, it's about, in a way, I feel like it almost, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's some kind of self-blame here, and I really don't feel like that this is your responsibility or your fault. it does become our responsibility if we choose to kind of spend too much time with these people when we know they're not right for them, you know, and to get out of this situation if it's not meant for us. But maybe that you were taking there's something wrong about you that is attracting these people, and that's the mindset shift that says it's not about that. So how do we handle that? How do we, you know, there are a lot of broken and unhealed people in the world that we're going to cross paths with. So first, I suppose, how do we deal with that is shift a mindset to think that it's not our fault. We're not broken or unhealed or saving these people unless we choose to try and do that, you know. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Country, for being. She says, feel free to share. Love your insight as well. Thank you. One more, please, Spirit. Ooh. And this is the Lovers, you see. It's a major arcana, two major arcanas here, okay? So this is important. This is a big deal. The only part that you can control, like your side of the street, is to not entertain or deal with people that aren't aligned with you, and to kind of clear out quickly as we can, kind of let the trash take itself out, for want of a better expression, okay? But the Lovers card is someone who is aligned with you, who is a soul connection, who is able to meet your match. And I feel like this is a comforting card from Spirit to say that, you know, this is out there for you, this person. And, you know, we're all broken and unhealed in some ways, but I feel like this person's energy is that the difference is that they're doing the work themselves. You know, this is a quality here, isn't it? This is a proper union, someone who is able to support you just as much as you support them. Country says, right, it's almost like I need to be needed. Okay. Always wanting to help people even when I feel they don't deserve it. So there's something that you do have control on. Control in Country. To recognize the need to be needed and not try to save someone. Hold space, leave space for someone who can help you. They don't have to be broken to need you, yeah, or be less than. And that really, I feel like Spirit is saying, if we can do that, if we can work on that aspect, and not pick less than us, if that makes sense, someone who is, not to be too judgmental, but someone maybe who is just on a different path or isn't as emotionally evolved as us or spiritually evolved. They're on a different path, they're on a different journey. You need someone to be able to meet your match. So there is a quality. So start off with that mindset shift and hold space for someone who is your equal, Country. I hope that resonates. Doing the work themselves. Exactly. I can't wait to meet him. That's the issue. So all that you can do, Country, is don't put your energy or waste your precious time on people who aren't able to match where you're at, yeah? And then it's like we're just clearing out that energy don't fill that space with people that don't belong there. Okay, I'm glad that resonated. Okay, so TB and my love, you are next. Hey Sruthi, yeah, right on time. Hey Ivo. Oh, TB is posted. Thank you, Tia. So Tia says, me and Pisces have been more communicative. Awesome. There's a sense of peace between us. Nice. What developments to expect next? I'm just going to close the list. 1 second. Okay. Let's get into it, Tia. I'm glad that communication is going well. What comes next? Oh, I'm going to take that. Oh, lovely. So, a light-hearted time, you know, there's been a lot of heaviness in this connection, yeah? And the Three of Cups is that time when we can just really almost enjoy the connection, yeah? And a sense of fun can be brought back into this. You know, and almost like just being able to remember what you enjoy about each other's company and, you know, why are we doing this? Why are we, you know, together? There is a strong bond here. We have a good time together. I feel like you can, you know, have a lot of fun together as well. So maybe going into the festive period as well, that we're in the month of December, sort of really lean into that to celebrate, to go out, you know, on dates, to have meals, to parties, whatever, you know, that you enjoy doing together, to really lean into that. And that's what's coming. So one more, just because I'm nosy, can't leave things alone. Ooh, and then a more powerful kind of energy, for want of a better word, but this is a major arcana, and the Wheel of Fortune is, look, this is you both here in this image here. There is a shift upcoming, a positive change, again a continuation of, it's almost building momentum, because I feel like the Three of Cups is like, focus on the small things on the day to day, if that makes sense, of, you know, going to do fun things, to go on fun dates, to kind of focus on that light-hearted fun aspect, and trying to keep things maybe light as much as possible. And then that kind of energy focusing on the little things will build into a bigger thing, and almost tip the scales really with this Wheel of Fortune, and build momentum and actually create bigger shifts, strengthen this bond, deepen this connection, and things will become easier in general after this kind of backwards forwards kind of energy that we've had. Bit of a rocky road here and there. The Wheel of Fortune is about a shift in fortune, good fortune coming your way, luck, you know, going in your favor, and just this sense of ease. Maybe what up until this point, on and off, things have felt like a struggle, and then it's like there's a tipping point, which I think is the off the back of being able to keep things light. We see deeper shifts. So that's some clear guidance there. Stick to this, and then the momentum will build and will create this bigger, more deeper, profound shift of things getting easier overall and the bond deepening. So both two really positive cards there to you. I hope that resonated. Hey Andrea, yes, you're on the list. So Sruthi, my love, you are next. I'll just go and grab the list again, but Sruthi is next. You're welcome, Tia. Thanks for posting, Shruti. I'm just going to grab this list and then I'll read for you. I'm good. I hope you are well as well, Shruti. Hi, Josephine. I'm sorry the list is closed today, but I'll be live again on Monday if you can catch us then. Stick around though. Please stick around if you can. Often there is messages still here for you in other people's readings. Oh, cards want to talk today. So Sruthi says, what obstacles are blocking my professional growth? I am thinking of changing my career. Exciting. Okay, so let's have a look. What obstacles are blocking my professional growth? So Spirit, what obstacles are blocking Sruthi's professional growth? So 9 of Pentacles, we'll just start off, we'll build this story, build this picture. 9 of Pentacles is about financial independence. 9 of Pentacles is a very independent card. So the question is, what is the block? And it's something around, you know, the practical aspect. Let me know how this resonates for you. Is it about wanting to be more financially independent? I don't know if it's possible what your goals are, if you'd want to live independently, or maybe you are already financially independent and a change of career might threaten that, and then you're scared of losing the security and independence that you've built. Because it's a block, yeah? So we're trying to figure out how this financial independence is a block on your growth. Let me know if you feel financially independent and secure now, and that's some of the fear about, you know, making a change, making a shift, that you might like lose some of that. Or if you're on what you're on track to now provides financial security, and it's risky to switch this up and change. And are you on track to being financially independent now, Sruthi, or do you feel like you need to take a risk in order to achieve that? Tell me more, Spirit. Again, money, opportunity. I feel like it's always, you know, it's a risk to start again. Something new. And this Ace of Pentacles is about a new beginning. And I feel like maybe the track that you're on now. So you say not making much right now, okay. So in order to achieve this, the Nine of Pentacles, this financial independence, to have money, to have security, yeah, we need to prioritize this. And in order to achieve that, we need to, the Page of Wands is about ambitions, and taking risks, because it's fire energy, yeah, and it's assessing the situation. So this woman here, this girl here, is looking at this wand, which represents your career, your journey, Shruti, okay? And it's about looking at what changes that we need to make that are actually aligned with our ambitions. And it does involve taking some risk. And it is about leaving behind, even though it's kind of maybe a small amount of security, but it is security, maybe something, the job that you know, that you feel comfortable with. But probably in that role, from what you've told me, we're never going to be able to reach this level, this Nine of Pentacles financial stability, which is what, if we're honest with ourselves, what we really want. So we need to create a plan and be ambitious. Spirit says don't hold back at this point. You know, we've got time, we've got to reroute our career to change and develop and be ambitious. And the Ace of Pentacles is about a fresh start. And maybe initially that we need to start right at the beginning of a new career. You know, sometimes in a way we have to kind of go backwards, but long term, we're going to be able to get to this 9 if we're on the right track. So I feel like Spirit is really saying with this Ace of Pentacles and this Page of Wands that there does need to be a new cycle here, a new beginning. Pentacles all being about work, money, finances. And we need to do this in order to get here. And maybe where you are now, that we're never going to be able to reach, not through your, however hard you work, however ambitious you are, maybe just where you are now, there are limitations, and we're never going to be able to get to this Nine of Pentacles. So we do, yeah, need to switch it up. So Page of Wands is like still the figuring out stage. So maybe there needs to be a bit more of that so that we're making the right moves through and that we're being wise and we're assessing all our options with this Page of Wands. But do you know what direction that you want to go in? You know, wherever you're at on this journey, like, you know, where, if you've got an idea about where that new career journey should be, and carefully think about that financial aspect of it, you know, and that level of success that you want, and figure out that area of where you want to go. You may already have done this. And then the Ace of Pentacles is, let's take that first step. So I hope that resonates. Yeah, still figuring out. It's hard to, you know, sometimes what direction. We know we want to be financially independent and ambitious, but finding out specifically what that thing is can take some time. But if we focus our energy, I think that you'll be able to figure that out. Thank you, Namira. Namira says, hi Seer, like you already said, I have to remember my neighbour to do something on the noise because it didn't get better, sure. I wrote a clear reminder to her. I remember the landlord will pick it up if they don't, to change the noise. The other neighbour also had contact with the landlord, but I don't know if the landlord is going to take action, but I'm wondering if the neighbour is going to lower the noise. So I don't do yes, no questions, Namira. So what I'll do is I'll just ask Spirit for guidance for you in this situation right now, bearing everything that you've said in mind. I know last time that the cards were really kind of saying that this was I felt like the change that needed to happen was that I felt like it was, if the noise was going to be less, then that would have happened already by now. Because I feel like that this person is quite lost and has lost control. So it's almost not a matter of that she doesn't want to. I feel like that she doesn't know how to. And that's like not something that you can really impact, yeah? That's not your problem. That's not your issue. That's a whole other thing, yeah, of like someone feeling overwhelmed and not being able to deal with the situation, etc., etc. But let's see what Spirit says now. So guidance for you, okay? Ooh, well, this is nice. It's reassuring anyway, because it says that this is Major Arcana. We know how important this is to you. This is your, our home is our sanctuary and is our peace. And if that's disrupted, that our sanctuary is no longer, it's a place of stress. That's incredibly difficult to deal with and really wears you down. But we have the star here, which is about a wish coming true. So I feel like this is saying that, there will be an end to this. The star card is about keeping faith, not giving up, holding out hope, even using manifestation and prayer as well. So bringing in the esoteric, your spiritual connection into this situation, asking, who do you reach out to, Namira, for to ask to change the situation, to bring elegant solution, an easy solution, so for everyone who can be happy, because no one's happy in this situation. Yeah, the neighbor knows that it's not working, it's not working, the energy is very tense and the energy is off. So this is a hopeful card to say that we can find resolution with this. Does Namira need to do anything? Spirit, take action. What should Namira do? Do you have any other options, Namira? With regards to, what are next steps? Just remind me. So say if the landlord won't do anything, where does that leave you? Is there a building concierge, or, is there someone else that you can take action to? Would you ever consider leaving? But obviously, if this is your home, if this is where you've been for a long time and don't want to leave, then I understand that. Ooh. Okay, so we are transitioning into more peaceful era as well, which is nice to see. More hopeful energy. 6 of Swords, we're switching from turbulent waters, which is where you've been, into peaceful waters. And then do you remember we had this last time? I very clearly remember we had the Chariot card, which is about change. Which last time said to me, I understand. Okay, so you took 2 times, you tried. If it doesn't lower, then the landlord will pick it up. Okay. And this Chariot card, I felt like last time it came up to say that, that maybe she would leave. Movement, change, things going in the positive direction anyway. Or what I would say is that you can expect to see some progress. Maybe now we're at that point for the landlord to take it up. Maybe that will actually make some real impact and move this situation forward, because you've tried, your neighbours tried, you've done your part, and now it's like it needs to progress. So this situation will progress. It is progressing. We've got 2 major arcanas here. So hopeful for the outcome that you would like. Chariot says that overcoming obstacles, which is kind of we're in this process and it is beginning to change and move forward. I know that you've kind of been dealing and suffering with this for a long time. And I feel like we are entering that time now where things are coming to a head. So I would really just hammer on that with the landlord, say, look, you shouldn't even actually be expected, I believe, to have done that. I think, Namira, I'm not sure if you agree. You know, it feels kind of like very out of order that you should have to personally speak to that neighbor, and that really that is the landlord's responsibility. But I know landlords can be, you know, pretty useless and difficult, and you know, we have to often fight them to take responsibility for their problems and their property. But nonetheless, very kind of positive reading here, positive change. We are in the place now, Namira, of a period of transition, and we're moving in the right direction. So just keep pushing. Don't let up. Yeah, don't back off at this point. Put as much pressure on the landlord as you can to say, you know, you've got to deal with this. And like I say, I think it's kind of out of order that you've had to do this anyway. But anyway, nonetheless, we move forward. The situation is moving forward and we're moving towards that resolution. Good to see. Good to see. Keep us posted. Okay, next up we have Alvin, if you were here, my dear. We have Alvin and then Sonali. Thank you, Alvin. Alvin asks, you're very welcome, Namira. Keep us posted. Alvin says, any guidance for what's emerging for me and HM? We have been together since mid-August. I've had some difficult moments as we understand each other better, but leaving us more committed each time. Yes, if I remember rightly, the last readings that we had, it was about that you were getting closer and that this connection was deepening. Let's have a check-in now. Thanks, Sonali, for letting us know. Okay, Alvin. What's emerging, Spirit, please, for Alvin and HM? Nice. So we're working together now. The Three of Pentacles is about that we're becoming a team. The Three of Pentacles is that we may have our differences and we may have different approach to life, to problems, to just a different outlook and opinions. You know, obviously we're all unique and we're two humans coming together from different lives, trying to kind of merge our worlds together. But the Three of Pentacles says, you know, what's important is, and I think that you two have, is that you've got a common goal. So we're trying to achieve the same thing now, which is for this relationship to work out, to last the distance, because it is Pentacles, so it's earth energy, which is it being grounded, being committed, stable. We're building a solid foundation and we're working towards the Ten of Pentacles, which is kind of like the ideal, whatever your ideal is of a long-lasting committed relationship. You know, the traditional would be marriage, kids, but I know that's not for everyone. But whatever your kind of ideal relationship really looks like. So yeah, we're on the same page, we're working together, we've got the common goal. Tell me more, Spirit. And maybe in the past, maybe it's that you've struggled to be on the same page at the same time. And now we're on the same page at the same time, if that makes sense. Oh, lovely. And this means that this is major arcana, that now we're on the same page. Now we're aligned together in our goal. We want the same thing, that we can progress. So the Chariot is about really being able to make a lot of forward momentum. So that's stuff that's been holding you back, where you've made, like you said, you've had on and off, or one step forward, two steps back, you know, obstacles, because you're aligned. So if you're in it together, then stuff that comes up, if you're both committed to overcome it, which I feel like you are, then you'll just kind of fly, you know, like the river going past, like that comes up against a rock. The river can just go around it, can just flow around it, rather than just like bumping up against that. Yeah. So both really positive, both very, got a lot of energy to them, got a lot of movement, and it feels like real progress is being, finally we can kind of move forward. So embrace it, stick with it, enjoy it. It feels like it's become less, it's become easier, really. Alvin says forward momentum has definitely been there, yeah, even if sometimes it does feel like a cha-cha. 2 steps forward, 1 back. But so I feel like in relationships and in life, it's like it's never going to be obstacle free, is it? But the difference is with that Chariot energy is that we are like determined and confident now, that it doesn't throw us off. It doesn't make us second guess this connection in ways that maybe it has done in the past. So I feel like that's only going to get stronger, and you're only going to get better at overcoming the obstacles because you're on the same page. Okay, I hope that resonated. Hey Anne. So I read for Sonali and then I'll read for Anne. So Sonali says, SM's current feelings towards me, not in contact, ex-situationship. Sure thing, Sonali. Ooh. So they're in some indecision, Sonali, okay? The 2 of Swords is when someone is kind of really in their head. Swords is about communication as well, so it can be about reaching out, about communicating to you, and at the minute they are unsure, so they are thinking about it, but they're not at the point yet where they're able to move forward with it, because something is blocking them, either lacking courage or wondering if this is the right thing to do, you know, to reach out, knowing that that will, you know, open up the connection again. And that the 2 of Swords is always when you're in a kind of overthinking energy, and our energy is kind of trapped in our head, and this woman's blindfolded, and this spirit is saying that we need to go within, we need to tap more into our intuition and into our heart, yeah, and what does our heart want to do? What is our intuition, which is always speaking to us? What is it telling us to do? And sometimes that voice tells us things that we don't want to hear, which is often why people cut off from their intuition and go against it, because our intuition tells us, do you know what, like that situation, even though you want it to happen, I know that it's not right for you, and that you're going against your nature, you're going against the grain by walking down that path. Ooh, and then we have Ace of Cups, which is about, I feel like there is a love offering of some sorts coming your way. So it can be that they actually I would probably read this, that they will actually decide with this Ace of Cups to actually move forward with this communication and love offering. Because look at those two together. So if they can tap into their intuition, if they can listen to what they would like to do and almost get out of their own way, I feel like this Ace of Cups, they would reach out. They would like to talk about their feelings. They would like to talk about what went on between you and how they feel. But something, it can be that's blocking them, that's making them in this indecision. It can be ego. It can be, you know, fear of rejection. It can be a number of things. Take what resonates with what you might think is that, what is that block that is getting them in there. But it's because they're too much in their head and they need to move into their heart space. And if they could do that, then this is what would come from that. I hope that resonated, Sonali. Okay, thanks for posting, Anne. So Anne asks, how will my next partner make me feel valued and seen? Okay, interesting. So Spirit, how will Anne's next partner make them feel valued and seen? Ooh. Wow. Okay, Major Arcana, we've got the Devil card, which is interesting. So I think that what they'll do is that they will, a few things here, they will understand, I think, like your shadow side. And also maybe be able to understand your pain. And because the Devil card is about, on the surface level, in some ways, it's about toxic behaviors and patterns that we do that aren't good for us. It's almost like our issues is what you would say the devil is, okay? And say when we're in a devil connection, this is when we're with someone who can trigger our issues. So, you know, if they're not reassuring, they can make us feel anxious. If we are someone who tries to save people, and then they play into that, they're the victim, we're the savior. You know, this is just a few dynamics of how devil relationships, toxic habits can go. But I feel like no, I wasn't expecting this card either, and it's quite taken me aback. But it kind of feels very unique and very particular in its message, and because of how you phrase that as well, of how will my partner make me feel valued and seen. And I feel like if someone can understand your pain and your triggers and not feel the need to, you know, push those buttons and be sensitive around those particular wounds that you have. We all have them, but they're very unique and particular to us. And your partner will be able to see those wounds and triggers and buttons and not press them, and choose to instead to be sensitive, choose to be respectful. And it's that kind of feeling of like, I know this person doesn't like that because of what happened to them in the past, so I'm going to be sensitive when around these issues, around, I'm going to be reassuring, just as one example. I'm going to make sure I'm keep them in the loop regularly about where I am, who I'm with, just for an example, and check in with them, because I know that if I don't do that, then it's going to make this person feel anxious and worried. And that sounds like a small thing, but actually it's a massive thing if someone can understand our pain, see it, believe it, and be respectful about it. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that resonates. Because it's when people are very dismissive and you can tell people, look, this is a problem for me. This is what I need from you. And then when people don't reciprocate that, don't remember that, don't see that, then that's a way of feeling, disrespected, not seen, not heard, not valued. Yeah, wow. And again, sort of lots of, it's all about the kind of shadow side and the heaviness, the tower moments that you've experienced, Anne, which I think have been a few, which have been like where things are in your life that were, what's the word, like, were stable, were cornerstones of your life, okay? Things that hold us up, things that we believe in, structures that we all have that keep us, thoughts and beliefs and people in our life that hold us up, that we build structure and we rely on people and we rely on certain beliefs. And tower moments is when they are ripped away from us and crumble, and how shocking and how dismantling that is. And that you've been through these a number of times, I believe, moments of when something that you thought was going to last the distance, or a belief system, however you want to take it, has been challenged and has been broken down, and how that changes you as a person. And it reroutes you for the better, but it also leaves a wound and changes the way that we approach life, because we kind of know that maybe nothing is for certain, and that once this happens to you, you kind of know always that can happen. That at some point, everything can change in a second, and to really, really kind of live like that, and once you've been through that stays with you. And that, again, this person, your partner, maybe they've probably been through their own pain and suffering and their own tower moments to be so sympathetic and empathetic about what you've been through. So I hope that resonates. Woof. Powerful message there. Not what I was expecting, not what Anne was expecting, but nonetheless feels very real. So I hope that resonated. No problem, Anne. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. Yes, that's a beautiful way to put it as well. And the devil sees your pain, the tower frees you from it. Yes, so true. You're welcome, Anne. Okay, so moving on to Raina. If you were here, Raina Lee. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If you are here, my love, please go ahead and post your question. And after Raina Lee, we have, last but not least, we have Diamond Girl, and we have Kristen. For anyone who didn't make the list today, or to get an early position on the list, I always just keep an eye on the community posts for schedules, okay? I always post the list the day before I go live. So next live will be Monday, and I'll post the list, I'll open the list, on Sunday evening, GMT time. Thanks, Diamond Girl. I'm not sure if Raina's here, so Raina, do post if you are here, but I'm going to read for Diamond Girl because she's posted now, so just to keep things moving. Diamond Girl asks, how can I become more open and ready to give and receive love with S? Currently not talking. Okay, interesting question. I like it. How can I become more open and ready to give and receive love with S? Oh, beautiful card, Diamond. Very hopeful, very positive. The Ten of Cups is about emotional fulfillment. So I feel like we need to focus on, so how do you become more open and ready to give and receive love? Is by focusing on, this may sound counterintuitive, but it's exactly how you get here. It's by focusing on your own emotional well-being. So by looking after your heart space, Diamond, by looking after being kind to yourself, so being sensitive, like, if we think about our inner voice and how we speak to ourselves, being kind to ourselves with that voice, being understanding, be compassionate. What I feel like the universe is saying, Spirit is saying to you, Diamond, that it's like you need to start treating yourself how you would like to be treated, maybe how you would treat S given the chance, that love that you feel for them, and if you can imagine being with them and how you would take care of their heart and be sensitive to their needs, be empathic to their needs, then we can tap into that and create those energy lines to have that happen between you two. We first need to begin with ourselves. And I know that sounds kind of like we hear that a lot, and it sounds like it's just this simple thing that but it's actually quite tricky to treat ourselves as kindly as we would like to be treated. Yeah. Six of Pentacles is about balance as well. So it's about being mindful about how much we give. So potentially this could be saying, Diamond, that, tell you what resonates here, that this card can often appear that there is an imbalance with giving and receiving. So one of you could be giving too much, like say if you look to the past dynamic about what went on, that one was giving too much than what you were getting back. So it's being very mindful and careful about what you give to your relationships in general. So obviously you and S aren't in contact at the minute, so that's not something that you can reflect on it and know that when you reconnect again, that we're not going to repeat the patterns of the past of that giving and receiving, and the aim is to try and balance that. But what you can do in the meantime is also look at your existing relationships and connections with friends, family, work, everything like that. We can look at where we are giving too much or where we are giving too little and try to create balance. And all of this helps set you up, Diamond, for when you're back in connection, that balance will be restored. So Diamond says, I felt like I was giving more than getting back. Okay, so this is something when this person does, when you do reconnect with them, when you do manifest this reconnection and you get back in communication, that's something you need to be mindful of. But it's also something that you can start practicing now, because probably if you did that in one relationship, then this might flag up in other areas of your life. Yeah. It doesn't mean to stop giving completely. It just means that we try to balance the scales in, what are you getting from someone, and match that energy. If someone is giving 10%, give 10% back. If someone's giving 50, give 50. Try to just match where they're coming from and not overcompensate for them. But first and foremost, we're focusing on what makes you happy, your emotional contentment, fulfillment, and where do you get that from? What do you want? And this will all help this connection. So I hope that resonates. Okay, thank you, Kristen and Raina, for posting. So I'll read in order, Kristen, and then Raina, I'll read for you. So Kristen asks, with time, has C come to appreciate who I am and what I have to offer? Just tell me, Kristen, where you're at with C at the moment. Are we in no contact? I'll just tell me a little bit more about where we're at now, Kristen. Just to read what Diamond says as well. It's always been that in my relationship. Okay, that's why they never last long, and I'm learning to not give as much. Well done. Yeah. It's tricky, Diamond, but it's probably, there's nothing to be ashamed of being a giver, but it is our jobs. If you are, there's the expression, some people are radiators, some people are drains. And that does seem to be true to me. Some people who naturally just put themselves first, but then they can be quite selfish and closed off to receiving love, almost as if they don't feel it. And then there's the givers who give too much, yeah, which is nothing to be ashamed of, to be a giver, to be kind, to be loving. But it is our job to not overcompensate for those drains, yeah. If someone's giving 10%, then givers will tend to give that 90% that's missing. And that's, so exhausting from personal experience. So I'm just waiting for Kristen to clarify. There is a bit of a delay usually in my chat, so just bear with. And then or I could always read for Raina whilst we're waiting for Kristen. I'll read for Raina whilst Kristen, just let us say, elaborate, give us more detailed context on your situation with C right now, just so I can give you a meaningful reading, yeah? And in the meantime, Raina, this is for you, my love. Just give me a thumbs up that you're here. Raina says, I've been having a crush for 2 years. If I have a chance to meet him again, if I confess to him, how will it go? I want closure, but I'm afraid, sure, it will be awkward between the two of us. So let's have a look of how it would be received if you were to kind of express your feelings. Can also have a look about how they feel towards you. All of that will give us guidance, will give us insight. So, Raina, this is for you. How will, if you confess your feelings, how will that land? And then I'm going to just keep it closed down. And then the second one is, how do they feel about you? Okay, how will it land? Ooh, interesting. We've got a 2. And we've got an 8 of Pentacles. Both pretty hopeful, both positive here, Raina. Okay, so the 2 of Wands. So if you were to confess your feelings and share what's been going on for a long time for you, okay, it will get them thinking about how that would, you two being together would look for them and how that would feel for them, and get them contemplating that. Look into the 2 of Wands here. Look, this is their energy. It doesn't matter about gender, but then the Wands is about the future, and it's about building a relationship. You know, Wands is also about passion and fire energy, which is good as well. So this would tell me that there is some, and what I think it would do, it would kind of maybe get them going, oh God, right, okay. I don't know why this, it almost feels like it's something that maybe they've thought about at times, but it will focus their mind on, okay, so how would this look? How would this work? Imagining you and them as a couple together, looking out onto the horizon, how would that feel? How would that think? So that's how, so it was not going to be like an out and out rejection. I feel like it's something that it would throw into their lap as an opportunity and something that they would seriously consider. So that's good, yeah. How do they feel about you? The 8 of Pentacles, it's interesting. It's about, how did this connection come about? Sometimes Pentacles can be about work, study. It's almost like their opinion of you, their view of you is someone, I don't know if you've hidden this, your feelings for them very well, because they see you almost as someone though who is very focused on work and study, and as maybe not given away that you are interested, that this has been hidden somehow. So maybe you've worked incredibly hard on hiding the fact that you've got a crush on them, that you've got feelings for them. Because the 8 of Pentacles is, like I say, it's all about, you can see this girl here who is studying away, who is focused, who is ambitious. So they see you in a good light, someone who is ambitious, someone who will go far. But maybe they've always seen you in a platonic way, or someone who wasn't that interested in relationships. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't there. So, yeah, I feel like for your mental health, as in with regards to getting closure as well, you know, this has been going on for some time. I feel like it's something that they, like I said, if you put out your cards on the table, this is something that they would definitely consider seriously. So let me know how, you know, with that, the 8 of Pentacles, how that resonates with you, Raina. If they, because like I say, there's something about them seeing you as, you know, almost like a kind of bookworm energy, someone who's very focused on work, money, study, you know, etc. Does that make sense to you? Oh, the Magician. So this is always a message really from Spirit to, if you manifest, Raina, to lean into this if you aren't already, because it says that this is something that you can bring into the 3D. And it's about our mindset and about having a disciplined manifestation practice, daily one if you can do this through meditation, visualization, journaling, all of the above, whatever resonates with you, whatever makes you feel inspired. The Magician is about getting focused on what you want and bringing this desire. How do you want this relationship to look? How do you want it to go? Get into those feelings, begin imagining and get very specific about imagining how this ideal relationship should look and bringing it into your 3D, bringing it into your reality. Oh, so he was a co-worker, I see. So it's work related. So that's the connection with this. That's what that 8 of Pentacles is showing up like. So they've maybe never considered it, and you've probably done a good job at hiding it. Just to recap, and then I'll leave it, but the Magician, if you manifest or if you are interested in that, it's something that you're new to, either way, double down on this, lean into it, look at videos about it, get inspired about how to create a daily practice to bring this through to you, to bring this into your reality. And how it would land in answer directly to your question, this person would be open to considering this. Okay, I'll leave that there. Okay, guys, I don't think Kristen's here, so I'm going to end the live. And I will be live again on Monday, so if anyone's watching the replay or was not able to make the list today, like I said earlier, just keep an eye on the community tab for schedule updates, and I'll be live again on Monday. I'm glad that reading made sense, Raina. I'm glad that resonated. Keep us posted. You're very welcome, Namira. Love and light all. Have a good weekend and hopefully see you Monday. Take care.